Hey guys, it's Squid. Welcome back to my channel. Happy Tuesday. Oy. Hey Robert, Karen, Janet, Roy. Yes, please everybody hit the like button on the way in. I would really appreciate it. Yay, YouTube sending alerts again. That's one of the reasons I did the extra long intro today. Plus I had a last minute ladies room break, if you know what I mean. So I figured I would just do a 5-minute intro, and that would give YouTube time and me time. So real quick, has anybody been watching the Karen Reed trial? I watched opening statements, and that's all I caught of it because it's been quite the day. That opening statement from Alan Jackson, fire, had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. Good one-liners in there, things for the jury to pay attention to, key words. He basically dismantled the state's entire case in his opening, and it was amazing. On that note, I was feeling kind of saucy this afternoon, and I figured since I totally forgot about my my doctor's appointment this morning, because that's what I do. There's a reason I write everything down. It's because situations like that. If I would not have written it down, I told y'all yesterday I would see you this morning. Completely forgot when I was streaming last night that I had a doctor's appointment today. Yeah, it's fun. Hey Sandra, how are you? And everything's fine, guys. I appreciate the words of concern. This is just before I got pregnant, I was on a couple of medications for migraines. And we had to get off of them because from the VA in a letter that I still have, my medications were, quote, not conducive for fetal life. So I had to change all of them. And then I just never went on any after I gave birth. And my headaches are starting to get worse. And I wake up every morning with a headache. So we needed to fix some things. So hopefully we got some things ordered. We got things figured out. And I'm tired of electrocuting my neck every morning to try to not give myself a headache. It's cumbersome. And if I put it too close to my carotid artery, I electrocute myself. It's one of those fun things. All right. So I figured we would, since I'm feeling saucy, we would get into more of this affidavit. And trigger warning for those of you who were here yesterday, this is a sensitive topic. Before we actually read the affidavit, I did go on to CCAP, which is Wisconsin's Circuit Court Access Program. And I have the actual things he's being charged with from the state of Wisconsin. This is not the federal case. We don't know what's in that yet. It's all sealed. I'm assuming they're using national security as a reason to keep it sealed because on Pacer, it says case closed and doesn't show you anything. And usually on Pacer, you can still look at cases that are closed and all the documents from cases that are closed, but not this one. Yeah, Karen, it's not the most fun activity because you never know what your day is going to be like. It's waking up and I'm sure it's something with how I sleep too. With all of this stuff. And then the fact that there's a titanium plate in the back of my head kind of might not help. So it is what it is. I appreciate everybody's concern. It was nothing unusual. It's stuff I've been dealing with for years. I'm going back on Topamax. Some people hate it. Some people love it. I'm indifferent to it. It causes me some things, some sensation issues, but if I can have some tenderness in my arm but not have a headache, I will take the tingling in my arm. I will take the tingling, tenderness, decreased sensitivity. It's weird to describe, but if I can, I'd rather have that than the headache, because the headache makes it hard to do anything like this. I need to shut that light off because right now I couldn't, the light was giving me Yeah, this case leaves a pit in my stomach. It opens up rabbit holes. I'm torn, extremely torn on going through this because it's uncomfortable to read, but I feel like it's something that we need to know is happening in our world. And this is why I always preach no level of political violence, whether it's name calling, taking someone's hat and throwing it in the road, anything political that we need to shut it all down. Whether it's not serving somebody in a restaurant because they voted for a certain person, all of that needs to stop, because if we allow some of that, I'm not saying every case, once again, remember, I don't generalize, but this, making that acceptable behavior leads sick individuals to think that this is acceptable behavior. And it's so alarming. So it's one of those, like, I don't, it's uncomfortable to read, but I think it needs to be said. And because it is not being said anywhere else, here we go. But remember, I started covering this case when it was just a quote unquote simple homicide case, local to where I grew up. Homicide case. Fascinating in a different mentality of why kids these days feel the need to unalive their parents, allegedly. However, this is, yes, it's not acceptable at all. And it's just that it's becoming norm to people to not use, either agree to disagree, because I know, Deborah, you and I agree to disagree on some things, but I don't hate you for what you think, and you don't hate me for what I think. And there's a lot more that we agree on than that we disagree on. And we just need to, like, I feel like both sides of the political spectrum, they want the same outcomes. They just have different ways of getting there. But when you allow people to think it's okay to violate somebody else's personal space and injure somebody else because of their political beliefs, this is what you get. This is an extreme case, but this is what you get. Yes, it was against things, not people. Yes, things, ideas, not people. Not people. So before we get started, I do have what he is actually being charged with. So he is actually being charged with, and I know this is kind of hard to see, and that's another reason why I do this, because of the fact that, they have, it's one of those, like, there's no good way of doing this in Streamlabs. I have to make a new one. I have to make a new setup so that I can do things like this without without being like super small like that. It's weird. All right. Count 1, first degree intentional homicide, felony A, 2 counts of that, 2 counts of violating statute 940.11, hiding a corpse, which is just gross to me. Like, that's just gross. Like, hanging out with a body after it's unalived. I had a problem with that when I worked in the hospital and I had patients that would pass away, and like I had to help nursing staff, fine, but like it still freaked me out. His 5th count is theft of movable property greater than $10,000 to $100,000. Theft of movable property special facts, which I don't know what the special facts are. Count 7 is take a drive with vehicle without consent, which is actually a felony, even though it's yours. Count 8 is misappropriate identification info to obtain money, and he has 2 counts of that. So in the county that I was born in, Nikita Casap, 17 years old, is accused of unaliving his mom and his stepdad. He went to a high school that I'm very familiar with. Not my high school, but a high school I'm very familiar with. And it was sent to me from Flash Fan because we've been covering I covered Carly Gregg, the teen out of Mississippi who unalived her parents, Colin Griffith, the teen in Florida who unalived his mom after unaliving his dad in self-defense in a different state the year prior. So this rash, we're covering Mia Bailey, who is a transgender woman who shot her, or is alleged to have shot her mom and dad. And I'm just using her, regardless of what you think politically, because that's what the courts use. In Utah, of all places, and attempted to unalive her brother. So I'm covering these cases all over the country. So Flashman sent me this one because it's from my hometown. Well, all of a sudden it took a turn from a local homicide case to a 3-page manifesto of plans to terrorize and unalive the president, the vice president, and cause chaos in the name of white or neo-Nazism, because we can't just we can't elect someone to do what we want, so we have to install someone kind of mentality. And this is not me, this is him. So for my YouTube overlords who are watching, this is not me, this is him. And this happened in February of 2025. So this is new. Bigotry is never okay either. Yeah, so it went from a simple unaliving straightforward. It's never simple. The reasons why people unalive other people is never simple, but it's straightforward. You're alleged to take someone's life. You're going to go to court. You deal with your case in court. Relatively straightforward. To an international issue. There was messages of him wanting to flee to Ukraine. It's so bizarre. Yeah, my manifesto is leave me the hell alone. Oh, and Jeff, before we get started, this is that busy book that you got for the little. I wish I would have had something like this when I was in like anatomy class. It's got all the body parts, like the lungs and the internal organs. It not only shows you what they are, but you can touch them. But it goes down to like body systems and functions of the organs. It's like 9 or 10 different or 12 different activities. It goes into your teeth and what the different parts of your teeth are. Best foods that are healthy for your teeth and not, and all of these are Velcroed. So my mother and I on Easter Sunday went through and we put all the Velcro dots on the book. So, but it goes into like digestive system, and it even has like when don't forget to flush and wipe. And then like the bones, the major ones anyway, So it's got all the different organ systems of the body. So it's kind of cool. I wish that something like that existed when I was in college, because that would have made it so much better. Gonna make baby as good a doctor or a serial killer. Yes. Hey, FBI, I know you are listening. She was saying what he wrote is not her belief. No, it is not. This is not even, no. Political violence overviews goes back to the Burr-Hamilton duel in 1804. Burr was the VP at the time, and Hamilton was the previous Secretary of the Treasury. Disagreements was way over. Political violence goes back to Roman times, even probably before that. Political violence is not new. It's just should not be accepted, but the internet makes it so easy. So that is actually what he's being charged for. Wisconsin does not make documents easy. In order to go get the records, I have all the court record, but in order to get the actual documents, I would have to go in there. So I am the only person in my family that trial watches and is interested in court documents. So if I can convince someone in my family or my best friend who lives in Wisconsin to go get these documents for me, that would be amazing. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm hoping. But I'm the only one interested in this. That's one of the reasons I have a YouTube channel, because nobody in my real life is interested in this shit except for me. So YouTube is the outlet where I can share things with people like me. So we left off on paragraph 31. Yeah, it took some time to put together, but it's actually really cool. I like that it's hands-on and that I can find all the parts when they go missing. All right, let's get into this. FBI personnel performing the preliminary exigency review also saw a direct message conversation with an individual, Forrest, who writes in, is that Cyrillic or Cyrillic? That contained messages to obtain different license plate and coordinates along with driving directions from a current location in southeast Wyoming through Kansas to a location near Pumpkin Center, Oklahoma. Additional username Alexander802 is Casap states, and then from there to Eureka, California, it's 30 hours. You'll think I have enough time, or you think I'll have enough time. Yeah, internet and political rhetoric only fuels conflict, and that's the internet makes it so easy to do it too, because the whole world is connected, and you're hiding behind a username, so you can take advantage of vulnerable people, and they never have to know who you actually are. It's kind of unfortunate. It's one of the reasons that like sites like X that you have to verify yourself. I'm okay with that in the sense of you need to know that you're a real person, and then if you are involved in any of this stuff, you're easy to track. Yes, there are negative sides to it. Of course, there's always a negative side to it, but look at the kind of shit we have going on right now. It's kind of one of those things. FBI personnel performing the preliminary review also saw images created on February 28th, 2025. And for those of you who weren't joining us or didn't see the first part of this, his parents are estimated time of unaliving is February 11th. So this is 2 weeks later before anybody found the bodies. Wrote this. This is from March. It's crazy. Of the front and back of Mayer's American Airlines Advantage credit card, PNC Bank debit card, BMO Harris Bank debit card, Armed Forces identification card, and driver's license, FBI personnel also saw an image displaying the username and password for a BMO bank account. Footnote 7 from context, BTC here refers to the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. And I have no idea how Bitcoin works. Like I said, I'm a boomer. But I feel like that's another thing that's like super easy for people to take advantage of. I don't know. On March 10th, 2025, Waukesha County Sheriff's Office interviewed a classmate of Casap. The classmate stated that Casap would send gore edit videos that included flashing gory and war images put to Russian music via Snapchat. Casap told the classmate he intended to unalive his parents by shooting them, but did not have access to a gun. He later told the classmate that he would befriend someone with a gun and then steal the gun. Casap told the classmate he was in contact with a male in Russia via telegram, and they were planning to overthrow the government of the United States and assassinate the 47th president. You can hate the man all you want, but nope. Oh, Melon, you're down with the flu. Oh, feel better soon, please. Oh, prayers for a quick recovery. Casap told the classmate that when they saw 10 consecutive attacks in the news, it would have been him. Okay. In summary, Casap appears to have written a manifesto calling for the political unaliving of the President of the United States. He was in touch with other parties about his plan to unalive the President and overthrow the government of the United States. And he paid for, at least in part, a drone and explosives to be used as a weapon of mass destruction to commit an attack. The killing of his parents appeared to be an effort to obtain the financial means and autonomy necessary to carry out his plan. Other parties with whom Casap was in contact appear to have been aware of his plan and actions and to have provided assistance to Casap in carrying them out. And there was also, Jeff made a really good point. Like, this is the only thing that's been made public. Why was this made public? Because you rarely get federal warrant affidavits. Rarely. I've never seen one easily obtained before. Angel! Oh, baby. Oh, baby girl. All right. Identification of the devices to be examined. The property to be searched includes a series of devices which were seized pursuant to state search warrants in the state of Wisconsin, Waukesha County Circuit Court, and executed by Waukesha County Sheriff's Office, as described below. On February 2nd. Hi, Angel. She's obsessed with the Stream Deck. Hi, baby. Hey, beautiful. Hi. You need a nap. No. No? No. Oh, you know how she's so eloquent? No, I don't. On February 28th and March 3rd, 2025, respectively, the search warrants were signed in the state of Wisconsin, Waukesha County Circuit Court, which authorized the search of the residence located at South 38 West 27056. Friggin' Waukesha County does their addresses longitude and latitude. It's funky like that. Yeah. During the execution of these warrants, the following items were seized. You want to get down? Yeah. Okay. Do you want your busy book? No? Okay. I love you. Item A1, computer, HP Pavilion. A2, computer, HP Tower, HP ProDesk, hard drives, a laptop, Apple laptop, 2 Apple laptops, computer, HP Pavilion Slimline. How many freaking computers did they have? Laptop, Panasonic NIB laptop, a cell phone from the cabinet kitchen, iPhone, camera, Sony CyberShot, Kodak, Coolpix, computer, tablet, blue iPad in a purple case. Home security cameras recovered from cabinet and dining room area. Camera identifier. This camera identifier is Simply Safe camera model. Holy crap. Like, trail camera. Also, March 3rd, 2025, a search warrant was signed in the state of Wisconsin, Waukesha County Circuit Court, which authorized the search of the following 2 devices, which were seized by Waukene, Kansas Police Department during their arrest of Nikita Casap on February 28th. A cell phone, gray iPhone in a green and gold case, and a rose gold cell phone in a black leather case. Those were his parents' cell phones. Crypto laundering is a huge issue. Cartels and foreign drug suppliers have only dealt with these forms of cryptocurrency, no longer the black peso exchange anymore. Yeah, she's hilarious. She's trying to put her feet in my laptop case like it's like she's gonna fit into it. She's not. She's silly. But I love her so much. I don't know what this house would be like if that silliness wasn't here. On March 3rd, 2025, a search warrant was signed in the state of Wisconsin, Waukesha County Circuit Court, which authorized the search of a black 2018 Volkswagen Atlas with Wisconsin registration and that VIN number, registered to Donald Mayer, which is the stepfather, date of birth March 16th, 1973. During the execution of the warrant, the following items were seized. Oh, English is hard. The hard drive, I know that name of that company. External hard drive, external storage, thumb drives, micro SD cards, 2 digital Apple Watches, a cell phone, 2 different black iPhones, in one with a clear case with Nikita's school ID, a laptop, ThinkPad Lenovo, a ThinkPad laptop, an iPad in a blue case, a digital book Kindle, and a MacBook Pro. iPad from Waukesha County School District, iPad silver model, and how many freaking iPads? Damn, dude. How much technology did these people have? Western Digital. I was going to say that, but I was like, that's not it. And it is. Like, it didn't, when you say something and you like, that doesn't sound right, but it is. That's how I felt. A rose gold iPad, 2 rose gold iPads, a silver iPad, a surveillance camera and Simply Safe sensor, Waukesha County Sheriff's Office items A1 through A6, A8, 10, 12, all those numbers. Collectively, the devices are currently located at the Waukesha County Sheriff's Office Computer Forensics Lab, located on Westmoreland Boulevard in Waukesha. The applied for warrant would authorize forensic examination of the devices for the purpose of identifying electronically stored data, particularly described in attachment B. Electronic storage and forensic analysis. Based on my knowledge, training, and experience, I know that electronic devices can store information for long periods of time. The fact that needs to be written down, he had more tech than you do. Yeah, and I'm wondering if some of these were like the new ones were replaced, or the old ones were replaced, and they just never got rid of the old ones, or if they were actively using all of these. Because this just seems bizarre. This is bizarre. This thing gets more and more like I could go down so many rabbit holes, and I'm trying not to. I'm just trying to read it for what it is, and then maybe later go down some rabbit holes, because I was talking to Spawn yesterday about this when he was on my stream, and like we talked a little bit after. It's like this is just so. This has implications beyond what anybody has any idea about right now. Like hello. No, you're not getting on Daddy's computer. Oh, hi, baby. Oh, okay. This I can do. Like this iPhone, this is technically hers, but we didn't buy it for her. It was my grandfather's. You want to use your busy book? Okay, use your busy book. Do you want to say thank you to Jeff for your busy book? Yeah. You want to say thank you? She's just like, yeah. I used to have a box of computer parts, get rid of it when I realized everything was obsolete. My dad used to have a computer monitor when he got a flat screen. He had one of those old tube ones in his closet, like somebody was going to buy it from him, or like it was going to be used. It's like, yeah, to a point, like now it's just obsolete. Try to recycle it, and that's about as best you can get nowadays. Similarly, things that have been viewed via the internet are typically stored for some period of time on the device. I know it is common for individuals to use multiple devices that can connect to the internet. Yeah, just me. I have this computer, I have my laptop, I have an iPhone. I have my iPad, her iPad that's connected to my account. I have some Apple home devices. Like it's so nuts how many devices that you use, and when the power goes out, how you realize that it's like, what did we do before the internet? Like, what did we do? Just crazy. You don't realize how much you rely on it until you don't have it. Information from devices can be backed up via online services directly or indirectly, which may then be linked or synchronized with other devices. Cameras can store data natively and via removable memory. Cameras are often used by individuals to video record manifestos and perform target reconnaissance. Security cameras can store data in various ways that include natively on the device, removable media, and via internet services. The nature of this matter involves radicalization materials that can be stored as images, electronic documents, which can be viewed by the user on devices with a screen and operating system. Additionally, the modern Internet of Things connects multiple devices that connect to the same internet network to store and access data across devices. Smart devices that include wearables retain information natively in order to synchronize with cloud-based accounts and linked devices when reconnected. Digital video recorders have native storage media that can store user programming, including security and surveillance footage. This information can sometimes be recovered with forensic tools. Yeah, tech dependency. I would have liked to think that I wasn't dependent on tech. How wrong was I? How wrong was I? Even down to, I have to charge it, but this, like my wearable, that's not an Apple Watch, my Whoop device that tracks my workouts and my sleep. Tech dependency is a real thing. Oh yeah, it even teaches you how to brush your teeth. The steps involved in brushing your teeth. It's kind of cool. And there's no tech involved, which is one of the things that I love. All right. As further described in attachment B, this application seeks permission to locate not only electronically stored information that might serve as direct evidence of the crimes described on the warrant, but also forensic evidence that establishes how the device was used, the purpose of its use, who used it, and when. There is probable cause to believe that this forensic electronic evidence might be on the device because yeah, my workout tracker. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Data on the storage medium can provide evidence of a file that was once on the storage medium but has been since deleted or edited, or of a deleted portion of a file, such as a paragraph that has been deleted from a word processing file. Yeah, you really can't delete things anymore. You have to delete the deleted. Like and then you have to make sure that you do a new backup so that it gets deleted from the cloud. Not telling anybody how to do this, but like if you're gonna delete stuff, you really need to delete stuff, because I logged into a device that I hadn't used in a long time, and it had phone numbers on it and like email addresses, and I'm like, who are these people? I haven't talked to these people in like a decade. Why are their numbers still on this device? Forensic evidence on a device can also indicate who has used or controlled the device. This user attribution evidence is, this word always screws me up, and I'm sorry, analogous to the search for indica of occupancy. Nobody make fun of my reading. While executing a search warrant at a residence, a person with appropriate familiarity with how an electronic device works may, after examining the forensic device in its proper context, be able to draw conclusions about how electronic devices were used, the purpose of their use, who used them, and when. The process of identifying the exact electronically stored information on a storage medium that is necessary to draw an accurate conclusion is a dynamic process. Electronic evidence is not always data that can be merely reviewed by a review team and passed along to investigators. Whether data stored on a computer is evidence may depend on other information stored on the computer and the application of knowledge about how a computer behaves. Therefore, contextual information is necessary to understand other evidence also falls within the scope of the warrant. Okay, Jeffrey, somebody's going to be, whoever tracks how many times I mentioned the Hales case is going to be mad at me for this. But remember the search warrant, or not the search warrant, but the request for completion of discovery and certain things. This phrase right here that this agent used, Bruce needs to memorize. Like, this right here. Therefore, contextual information is necessary to understand other evidence and also falls within the scope of the warrant. When they're asking for things, they might be asking for all things because they need the context. And like, I couldn't think of how to phrase it when I was reading through those documents, but now that I've had time to process them, that right there is the best way to say it. This is what the judge should have said, or Randy should have said. We need context. When I ask for these things and I ask for these specific things, it's not because of this. It's because I need context to prove that this is what I think it is. Context is everything. Devices also have historic information of networks they've connected to, as well as those scanned, and a whole ton of other information. If you want to completely delete information, take a page out of Hillary's book and destroy it. If you know, you know. Destroy those cell phones. Or the Alberts. Further, in finding evidence of how a device was used, the purpose of its use, who used it, and when, sometimes it's necessary to establish that a particular thing is not present on a storage medium. I know that when an individual uses an electronic device to facilitate or further a crime, the individual's electronic device will generally serve both as an instrumentality for committing the crime and also a storage medium for evidence of the crime. The electronic device is then instrumentality of the crime because it is used as a means of committing the criminal offense. The electronic device is also likely to be a storage medium for evidence of a crime. From my training and experience, I believe that an electronic device used to commit a crime of this type may contain data that is evidence of how the electronic device was used, data that was sent or received, and other records that indicate the nature of the offense. Based on the foregoing, the warrant I am applying for would permit the examination of the devices consistent with the warrant. The examination may require authorities to employ techniques, including but not limited to computer-assisted scans of the entire medium that might expose many parts of the device to human inspection in order to determine whether it's evidence described by the warrant. 33 minutes, way to go. See? Brought back a lot of memories, good and bad. And that's partly why those old hardware pieces are important. Some can't be connected to read by anything modern. Yeah, that's true. Read by anything modern. That's a good point. Hi. You want to come up here? Oh, she's busy with her busy book. And this is the thing, though. Sometimes you need things, not because they're evidence, but you don't know if they're evidence, and you need to check them to see if it's evidence or not. I'm sorry, but if you don't want to have anybody be invasive or look at your stuff, your text messages, your phone numbers, your contact information, don't piss anybody off or screw up or commit a crime, because all that becomes public knowledge. Like, it's kind of one of those, like, well, guess what? It's now discovery, and that is why a lot of lawsuits settle, because discovery is a bitch. Because this warrant seeks only permission to examine a device already in law enforcement's possession, the execution of this warrant does not involve the physical intrusion onto a premises. Consequently, I submit there is a reasonable cause for the court to authorize the execution of this warrant at any time in the day or night. Or stalk someone with resources to fight you. That's true too. That's true too. Proper to be searched. This is attachment A. All of the stuff, the HP Pavilion, HP Tower, HP ProDesk, Cloud Key hard drive, Apple laptop, 2 Apple laptops, the HP Pavilion Slimline, Panasonic laptop, cell phone, the iPhone from the kitchen cabinet, cameras, Sony CyberShot, Kodak, and Coolpix, a computer, tablet, an iPad, another iPad that's heavily damaged, home security cameras recovered from cabinet in the dining room area, cameras, and a Simply Safe camera model. There's a lot of stuff. 2 trail cams, cell phones, 2 more cell phones, an external hard drive, another external storage, 6 thumb drives, 4 micro SD cards, and 4 SD cards, some of which I'm assuming came from the cameras. Because, I mean, we have a SD card in our cameras. 2 Apple Watches, another iPhone, 2 more iPhones, I think Lenovo ThinkPad, another ThinkPad, another iPad, a Kindle, the MacBook Pro, the iPad from the Waukesha School District, which I'm oh so sure they're going to love that's in evidence because they just lost money. Or you upgraded SD cards. Well, all I know is I can record what's happening all around my house because we have multiple cameras all around this house. Another iPad, 2 more iPads. Jesus, Pete, man. A Dell Latitude, HP Spectra, an iPad Air, 2 rose gold iPads, a silver iPad. How many freaking iPads did this freaking family have? This guy collects technology like I kept maybe using ammo. Yeah, that's another thing. I'm not saying I'm prepared for anything, but like my dad bought Mr. Squid some ammunition for his long range, The applied for warrant would authorize forensic examination of the devices for the purpose of identifying electronically stored data, particularly described in Attachment B. Here we go, Attachment B. All records on each device described in Attachment A that relate to violations of Title 18 U.S. Code 371 conspiracy, Title 18 U.S. Code 1751 C and D, political unaliving of the leader of our country, or Title 18 U.S. Code 2332 A2, weapons of mass destruction. I must say, though, this reading today is not as hard as yesterday. Reading through the messages that were sent on different apps and Telegram and all that was very difficult. This is not as hard. This is not as triggering. FBI / YouTube overlords, it's still not me. This is all him. I don't subscribe to any of this shit. None. None of this. I want nothing to do with any of this ideology. Including records and information relating to a conspiracy to carry out an attack on the President of the United States and or other political figures. Records and information relating to targets or potential targets of threats, harassment, or intimidation based on this thinking one race is better than the other, which they're not. Y'all bleed the same. I mean, and if you truly want to think about it, the amount of melanin in one's skin is historically related to where you lived, because northern climates had less sun, didn't need as much sun protection, therefore lighter skin. Closer to the equator, lots of sun, lots of possible result. It is a adaptation to protect a human body from the sun. If you really want to get that, so it is an adaptation of the human body. It has nothing to do with the size of someone's brain or what they are capable of. It is purely an adaptation of self-protection. Finland, not as much sun, pale as shit. Cuban, closer to the sun, darker skin, or closer to the equator, darker skin to protect the body. It's all about self-preservation. And then with people moving around and migrating people everywhere, we just got all intermingled. Oh well. It had nothing to do with the size of your brain or what you're capable of. All right. Anyway, back to the document. Records and information relating to targets or potential targets of threats, harassment, or intimidation based on that stupid ideology. Records and information relating to the organization known as the Order of Nine Angels, Mortis Covenant, Neo-Yahtzee or stupid supremacy ideology, guiding or advocating means of carrying out acts of violence or terrorism, including any communications. Oh yeah. Hey. Hey, Mom. This kid, went to Waukesha West. If you know, you know. Records and information relating to communications, including the use of electronic communication services or systems or facilities of interstate commerce to harass or intimidate another person for the purposes of eliciting acts to assist carrying out violence. Records and information relating to Casap's location at relevant times and the location of identities of accomplices. Hi, baby. Hi. Evidence of who used, owned, or controlled the devices at the time the things described in this warrant were created, edited, or deleted, such as logs, registry entries, configuration files, saved usernames and passwords, documents, browsing history, user profiles, email contacts, chat, instant messaging logs, photographs, and correspondence. But now you see, reading through this, that when people were looking at Randy in the document that he filed for the discovery, notice or document to compel discovery, he listed everything, and it seemed like overkill to some people that he had to list everything, but it's standard practice. As you can see by this, FBI agent had no idea who Randy Shockett is, doing the exact same thing in a affidavit for a search warrant. So yeah, Daryl Brooks is the only reason that people know how to spell Waukesha and say Waukesha correctly. Yeah, this is these people didn't live too far away from certain people we know. Evidence of software that would allow others to control the device, such as viruses, Trojan horses, and other forms of malware, as well as evidence of the presence or absence of security software designed to detect malware, evidence of the lack of malicious software, evidence indicating how and when the device was accessed or used to determine the chronological context of computer access, use and events relating to crime under investigation and the user. Well, I gotta go, leaving at 2 a.m., going to Cherokee, North Carolina for her birthday tomorrow. Peace and penguin hugs. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I hope it's a good one. All right. Use in events relating to the crime under investigation and to the user. Evidence indicating the device's user's state of mind as it relates to the crime under investigation. It's that. Oh, if y'all remember Vice's intro, talking about the mens rea, it's that. Your intent. Yeah, glad we're out of that area. I think the cold does things to people. Evidence of the attachment of or to the device of or to other storage devices or similar containers for electronic evidence. Evidence of counter forensic programs and associated data that are designed to eliminate data from the device. Oh, there's those things too. Gonna lose $200 at Harris Casino. Let's hope not. Let's hope you win $200. But thanks for hanging out while you could. Contextual information necessary to understand the evidence described in this attachment. Hold 1 second. I need to make sure that the little is not destroying her dad's computer. Okay, she brought her busy book over there, and she just set it on his keyboard. So I just heard the keyboard move and got a little worried for a second. But she's good. Records of internet protocol addresses used, also known as an IP address. Oh no, we have the mens rea. Yes. Oh my God, Vice's God rest his soul. Like, oh man, I miss him so much. And that is one of the many reasons of why I miss him. Just one small piece of the many reasons that I miss that man. Yeah. Records of internet activity, including firewall logs, caches, browser history, and cookies, bookmarked or favorited websites. Search terms that the user entered into any internet search engine, and the records of user-type web addresses. As used above, the terms records and information include all of the foregoing items of evidence in whatever form and by whatever means they may have been created or stored, including any form of computer or electronic storage, such as flash memory or other media that can store data and any photographic form. This warrant authorizes a review of electronic storage media and electronically stored information seized or copied pursuant to this warrant in order to locate evidence, fruits, and instrumentalities described in this warrant. The review of this electronic data may be conducted by any government personnel assisting in the investigation, who may include, in addition to law enforcement officers and agents, attorneys for the government, attorneys support staff, and technical experts. Pursuant to this warrant, the FBI may deliver a complete copy of the seized or copied electronic data to the custody and control of attorneys for the government and their support staff for their independent review. It's the water, that cryptosporidium. All right. And this was to any authorized or warrant by telephone or other reliable electronic means. You are commanded to execute this warrant on or before 4/1/2025, not to exceed 14 days, at any time of the day or night, because good cause has been established. Well, all those devices were in the property of Waukesha County Sheriff's Office, so it's not like they had to go break down doors or anything. Baby Squid just getting rid of the evidence before the Men in Black sunglasses arrive. Yes, getting back to that none of this, you can see I was reading a federal affidavit for a federal warrant, and this is the warrant by an FBI agent in the city of Milwaukee by a magistrate judge out of the Eastern District of Wisconsin. None of this ideology in this document is my own. I do not speak on behalf of this person. This person does not speak on behalf of me. I want nothing to do with that shit. Nothing. This was issued 3/18/2025 at 9:20 in the morning. This was probably the first thing that was on his desk when he got into work that day. So that is all that was. None of this was checked. So attachment A, they have all the devices. This is all the devices that they have. Yeah, I know. So this is attachment B again. We already read this. So there you go. That is everything that I got in that case. I am currently looking for more. Let me hide this to see. We are going to go to Pacer, and I'm going to show you what happens when I type in this. What happens when I try to type this in the computer and Pacer and see what you can see. What I just have to technically hide my Pacer information. Client court. We said the Eastern District of Wisconsin. Eastern District, and it just has my name, not squid on it, so I just can't show it to you guys. But this is what happens when I go into Pacer. Yeah, that's the $1 million question right there. But how many of those devices were old and not being used, like laptops that are no longer in service, so to speak? But they just haven't gotten rid of them. So we're gonna go to query. That's the case number. Actually, is that the case number? Hold on, I have to go to the but when I type in, I'm gonna laugh if this all of a sudden has case status all. So closed or open. Yeah, the black helicopter arrives. Casap. No information that was found. So there's a federal case, but yet no information is found. It's one of those situations where it's like criminal cases. Let's see. Milwaukee. We're just not going to do that yet, but we're going to like case number, office, sort by office, pending defendants. Let's go filed. What was that date? 3/18. 2025. This is probably going to cost me a lot of money, but 04/01/2025. Let's go. I don't even know what to put. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to read it before somehow it went missing. This report is not subject to the 30-page billing cap. Okay, we're going to go criminal. Actually, nope, we're just not going to do anything at all. Yep. We're going to run report, and I'm going to hide this just so I don't dox anybody. Oy vey. Total number. Ooh. Oh, that only cost me a dime. Oh, you want this? Okay. Have a kiss. Have a kiss, please. I love you. Kisses. Love you. That I don't know. It was in. I don't know why you need to make a federal case out of everything. What the hell? Like, yeah, it's not the fact that everything is like not even hidden. Like, but you can have it in. Did you lock it again?
No.
You didn't? Okay. This was in a news report, though. This was at the bottom of a. Whoa. Girl, I don't have Twitch. Why did you just hit the Twitch button? She's starting to hit buttons on my stream deck. It was in an article, though. Like, it was. They didn't talk about it, but they said, hey, this is here. And I clicked on the link, and this is what I found. This is why when you have hyperlinks in articles, always click on them. It's one of those situations that you never really know what you're going to get. Speaking of that, though, we have to do a little search for somebody's appellate documents. Signal chat. No, you can't have that. How to better detect something in the media avoid we know that's been an issue. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. We're gonna search for the case.
Mama.
Avery.
Water.
You got your water over there.
Yeah.
That's mommy's. That you can't have that. That's a Celsius.
Yeah.
Hey.
Mama.
Hey.
Mama.
You want to say hi to Nana? You want to say hi, Nana?
Hi.
Mwah. All right, we are looking up Sarah Boone's case, because her last time I checked, her appeal wasn't in the system yet. Well, it was in the system, but it wasn't able to be like searched for.
Let's come to the first round one.
Home. Think it was the 6th District Court of Appeals.
Can you guess the character?
I'm looking. Let's see. Search. Party search. Roll. Participant. Appellant. Yeah. Sarah Boone. We're just going to look up real quick. I have some searching to do over the next couple of days for some documents. Sarah Boone for state of Florida. Oh. Last thing was in, that was 310. Motions, extension. Yep, documents still not available. This is what I see when I look up documents on Sarah Boone. That's what I see. And there's basically nothing is going on with her appeal right now that we can actually read or see. That's a really good point. Maybe they were trying to spook someone out of the weeds. I don't know. All I know is this is weird. I haven't, but I also haven't looked, so there could be that. Ugh. Oh, the one from a few years ago turned out to be a justice aide that was terminated. That was the releasing information on the decision on Roe v. Wade. I'm assuming that leak. We are going to go to the one more place to look for Sarasota, Orange County, Florida. We're going to look up one more document or one more place. Sarah. This is how easy Orange County, Florida is. The Orlando area. This is it. my goodness. Oh, this is where everything is. It's not on the, it's not on. Ooh, we got some updating to do. Holy crap. Appeal trial transcripts. 2,529 pages. Oh my goodness. Transcript of proceeding. This is the transcript of the whole trial. Oh goodness. That's all that's in there. The transcript shall be filed with the clerk lower tribunal by April 11th. So that's in. So now we just have to wait. But her trial transcripts. Oh goodness. I don't know how long this thing is going to take to open. Yeah, I think that is shady on so many levels. Not only like a Supreme Court thing, but just as a lawyer, which most of those aides are lawyers in themselves. It's not even going to open. It's so big. You can see it's taking its dear sweet time. So we are we're gonna have to wait. But yeah, I will make sure to save. Good thing is these are free. So you know, if it takes forever, I hate that city. Since it retired, I refuse to even drive to the place. Is it that bad? Is it the tourists or just the place in general? Anyways, guys, I have a couple of things to do this afternoon still. This is still not loading. Well, it's only halfway done. I mean, it's 2,000 pages. I have to do some reading up on some other things for some future streams. Yeah, I have to clean too. I have dishes to do and such. But anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for hanging out with me. We made it through that entire thing. It wasn't as hard today as it was yesterday. Maybe because we knew what we were getting ourselves into. Plus, we didn't have to read any more chats from him, which definitely made it easier. On that happy note, though, I am going to go. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for hanging out with me. Tomorrow, I don't know what the plan is yet. I know I'm going to stream. I just don't know when, because there's two things I want to do. I want to get back into the CNN trial. Then, secondly, we have the two different NTSB or two different safety reports that Spawn Trooper and I are looking into based on the Canadian CRJ or the CRJ in Canada that flipped over and the Philadelphia Learjet crash that was a medevac flight. So we will see which one we want to go through first. We have some research to do before we get started because we're going about this one a different way. I have questions to ask the It loaded. I have questions to ask Mr. Squid about how to do things. Oh my God, they have voir dire. I'm very interested in reading through voir dire. Yeah. Oh. Yay. All right. I will read through this to see if there's things I need to redact about the Hi. You want to say bye? Bye. About the jurors. I want to make sure that nobody's names are, because as far as I know, none of them have spoken out. But on that note, I'm going to go. Y'all have a great day. And remember, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. Right, baby? Say bye. Bye. Y'all have a great day. See you on the next one. Bye. Bye.